Hello, people. Welcome to another podcast. Today, in this video, we have a very special guest all the way from UK. He is a guitar player, a guitar teacher, a performer, and a YouTuber with more than 1.6 lakh subscribers on YouTube. Please welcome Mr. Simon Smith. So, hello, Simon. Welcome to this podcast. I'm really glad to have you in our podcast.
I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yep, pleasure to have you. So let's straight away dive into the podcast by my first question: that how did you got introduced to guitar in general as a kid, and how your journey began?
So I got introduced into playing the guitar when I was probably about 15 years old. So it was the summer holidays at school, and one of my friends had a new computer game, which was a racing game. And this is back in the days, there was no internet. I think we were on a ZX Spectrum 48K or some terrible machine. And I went round his house, and he was an Iron Maiden fan, and I'd never heard Iron Maiden. But for the whole summer holidays, I went round his house pretty much every day to play this racing game. And he was listening to Iron Maiden. And by the end of the summer holidays, I was obsessed with Iron Maiden. So getting into Iron Maiden, and then just listening to those songs over and over on my Walkman, and I thought I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So didn't have much money as a kid, but my nan had a savings account for all of her grandchildren. So I think there's about £80 in there. So I said to my nan, "Can I have my savings account money?"
Yeah.
So she gave it to me, and I went to a local guitar shop and I bought an Encore Strat copy, and the worst sounding amp that you've ever heard in your life. But I didn't know what was good. I didn't know what was bad. I just wanted to make some noises. So I got this Encore Stratocaster copy. I got this little amp, and from that moment I was obsessed, and I couldn't put it down. So I didn't know whether I was playing with a pick or with my fingers. I didn't know what a chord was, but all I knew was this thing makes a cool sound. So I just kept going, and yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I can understand. So
Yeah.
after that, the whole journey was as you were self-taught or you had a teacher?
First of all, I tried to sort of learn myself, but there wasn't really any resources back then. You didn't get courses, or there was no YouTube. So
Yeah.
it turns out my uncle used to play guitar in the 50s. He was a rock and roll guitar player.
Great.
So my parents said, "You need to speak to your Uncle Trevor." And he's a really eccentric guy. He's very, very funny.
Yep.
So I used to go around his house, and we'd sit in his kitchen, and because he was so eccentric, he used to hang his clothes out to dry all around the house. So you'd go in the kitchen, and there would be like pants on top of the cooker, or
Yep.
socks on the sink, and it was just really, it was a strange environment to learn the guitar in. So I used to go on there, and he would show me a few things. He'd show me some chords. I remember getting a songbook. It was just like an electric guitar songbook, and I think the first song that I ever learned was Norwegian Wood by the Beatles.
Oh, great.
So so I started learning, and he taught me to read music as well, because I couldn't read music. But he taught me how to read music, how to read chord charts. He gave me a good grounding, and then from there, I went to some other local teachers. I started learning classical guitar, but really I wanted to learn metal and all that sort of stuff. So I was trying to find a local metal guitar teacher. Yeah.
Yep.
There was no metal guitar teachers, so I had to teach myself how to play metal. And then I went to music college, and I did about a year and a half of the course, but I left after about a year and a half, because to me the course was supposed to be about learning how to play my instrument, but it kind of morphed into, now you've got to learn how to write jingles for adverts and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I'm not interested in that. So unfortunately, I left college without any qualifications, but I didn't care because I just wanted to play the guitar. So that was my journey. And then from there, I've still had some teachers. Like every now and then, if I think I need to learn about something, I'll find a local person that does that style, and I'll go and speak to them and have normally just one or two lessons, just to go, okay, right, that's what that is. So yeah, I still try and learn. I still try and find things that are new to me, or styles that I'm not used to, and going out and trying to learn it and find somebody that does it and get them to show me what to do.
Yeah, getting your point. So basically, the teaching is for you. The teaching is you just find someone like who have a good technique about a particular topic or something, and you just approach them and just learn from them. And it's not like you have a not saying stagnant, but a stable guitar teacher for you that is making sure for the entire guitar journey of yours that you should be playing like this or that. It's not like that, correct?
No, I've never had that. I think because I've never found someone, or at least when I was learning, I never found somebody locally that would teach me what I wanted to know. I might find somebody that knows some jazz, but they can't teach me how to play metal, or somebody that can teach me how to play, I don't know, funk, but they can't teach me something else. So I think if you learn lots of different styles, it's hard to find a teacher that will cover all of it. But also, I think I prefer teaching myself or trying to figure things out myself.
Yep. Yeah.
If you can't figure it out, go and find somebody. But if you can figure it out yourself, then and there's so many resources now on YouTube or TrueFire and courses all around the world that you can just go and find the best players and they'll teach you. So
yep, totally.
I think it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier these days.
Yeah, true. I can understand. Now, YouTube is totally the best option for anyone who can just straight away, just take the guitar out of the bag and just straight away go and learn. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. So yeah, that was great. Indeed, it was a beautiful journey of yours covering from your childhood till now. So yeah.
Thanks.
So accompanying with the next question, my next question would be that what were your favorite early influences as a kid and maybe during the college days and the early influences as a guitar player?
So my earliest influences, so first of all was Iron Maiden. So I wouldn't play the guitar if it wasn't for that summer when I used to go around my mate's house and play that computer game. So Iron Maiden, definitely. So that would be Dave Murray, Adrian Smith, Yannick Gears. Then I got into, almost straight away, I got into heavier stuff. So Slayer and Megadeth. So from a riff writing point of view, I'd say Slayer. From a solo point of view, I think Marty Friedman was... He wasn't. I've never tried to copy somebody's style, but he had a very unique sound, and he was amazing. Then I got into Napalm Death, so that was my journey. Iron Maiden,
great. Yep.
Slayer, Napalm Death. So it kind of went quite quick from 0 to 100.
Yeah, I understand.
But then I'd say from a metal playing point of view, probably Trey Azagthoth from Morbid Angel. From when I first started listening to like Blessed Are the Sick and Covenant and those early albums, I'd never heard somebody play the guitar like that and make it sound like that. And I'd say he was one of my first, I wouldn't say he was a guitar hero, but somebody I really thought that's a technique that is pretty incredible. So from an early point of view, I'd say that was my sort of journey: Maiden to Slayer, Megadeth, then Napalm Death, Morbid Angel. But I never really learned metal techniques. I just figured out what to do myself, and whereas I probably could have done with somebody showing me a few things back in the day, but there wasn't really many metal guitar teachers around in the late 80s.
Yeah,
or early 90s. Yeah, or none that I could find anyway.
Yeah, I understand. So that time you were also like doing the the live scene, as in maybe you're playing metal live as well that time, or maybe it's just you were enjoying the songs and playing at your home with an amplifier or something.
Yeah, at that point I was mainly playing at home because I wasn't really confident when I was younger. I couldn't get up and play in front of people, but also I was crap at playing the guitar at that point, so I was still trying to learn. So even if somebody came around the house like a family member, I wouldn't play in front of them because I was like, no, I can't do it. But yeah, so at that point, I wasn't really involved in any sort of metal scene or anything like that. Not till I was a bit older, maybe about 18 odd, and started playing black metal, and that's when I started gigging and getting out in front of people and stuff like that.
Oh, getting your point. Yeah. That's really
Yeah.
interesting. Yep.
Yeah, but from an early point of view, the first sort of 3 or 4 years, or 2 or 3 years, it's hard to remember now because it was so long ago. But the first few years, yeah, I wouldn't play in front of anyone.
Yeah, yeah. I can totally understand because it's very hard to just, straight away get on to the stage and just encounter people watching you and just playing guitar, and that to that
Yeah.
genre, which is, sometimes people can't digest the genre even anywhere in this world, because metal is something which is very unique and pure for us. We understand the,
Yeah.
purity of it. So I understand. I totally understand.
Yeah. I think metal's Marmite, isn't it? You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
There's not
correct.
there's not many people in between. Like, I'm the only person in my house that loves it. Everyone else hates it, but I'm used to that, so it doesn't
Yeah,
bother
yeah.
me.
Same for
Yeah.
my case. Even in India as well, there are people. I guess hardly they are like 1 or 2% of the total population that people like they love metal, because it's
Yeah.
such a unique genre where people frequently find it like noise, or maybe something like they say that it has screaming vocals and heavy drums and whatnot. They just stereotype it as hell. So that's
That's
why.
right.
Yep. So that's the reason why I think that it's a very unique genre. You, as you said, you can either love it or just hate it. There is nothing in between. So I totally agree
Yeah.
with you. Yep. So
Yeah, it's people that
yeah,
understand that it's actually technically challenging. They just think you go,
yeah,
people
correct.
and people at work they go, oh, you're in a metal band, oh, do you shout? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I totally understand. And yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen my friends as well. Like, dude, you do metal. Even they don't name the genre. They said that song that you did, that song, it has like oh and whatnot. So they were like, "What is that? And why
Yeah.
you're making noise?" So that's kind of thing which is very funny for me, as well as I think that no, dude, you have to at least explore some genres of music. You don't, you're actually limiting yourself to the stereotype, not into the depths of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So, accompanying with that, my next question is that I would like to ask you about your all-time favorite top 3 songs and top 3 albums of all time that you absolutely enjoy loving, like
Yeah.
whenever you are in a maybe a flight or maybe anywhere you're sitting and you just enjoy
Yeah.
those 3 songs or 3 albums or something.
Okay. I'm going to ask you yours after.
Sure, no issues.
So yeah, so I'd say my top 3 all-time albums. I'd say probably "Erotic Cakes" by Guthrie Govan.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, that when I first heard that album, I couldn't believe what was going on in my ears. I'd say "In Rainbows" by Radiohead,
Yep.
and probably the other one's probably got to be. It's going to have to be a Maiden album. So I'm going to say.
I was expecting that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to say it's probably. Let's go with Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, absolute classic. I could probably choose 2 or 3 different Maiden albums. No Prayer for the Dying is one of my favourites. That was the one that got me into playing guitar, that album. So I'll probably pick that one. No Prayer for the Dying.
Yeah, totally. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'd be my 3. What would be yours?
Yeah, so starting with, I love the whole Blackbird album of Alter Bridge. That would be the like in the top tier quality of album that I absolutely love. Anytime I could just plug that song and just go to some another world and just enjoy those songs. So yeah, the first would be absolutely Blackbird by Alter Bridge. Second one would be All I Was album by Tremonti. Mark Tremonti has his own band which is Tremonti. So by that whole I'll say speed metal kind of genre where there are heavy riffs and they have solos, but they have limited solos, but mostly it's riff based and right hand techniques. It is very heavy with drums and all, so it's kind of speed metal genre. So yeah, so All I Was would be the second, and for like third would be, I'll say, yeah, actually I love John Mayer because it has some unique style, and I'm after my early days, I got influenced by the blues pattern of guitars. Not just riffing and heavy stuff, but I also got influenced by John Mayer. So I'll say Battle Studies. So I love that album. So I love these three albums. Anyways, where I could just be sitting anywhere and I'll just plug those songs
Yeah.
and I can enjoy it.
Mm.
So that would be.
And if I was
yeah.
if I was going to pick a black metal album, which is what I'm sort of more known for,
Yep.
I'd probably go with Panzerfaust or Pure Holocaust. So Dark Throne or Immortal.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of those
understand.
two.
Yeah, I can understand. So I'm not actually heavily influenced by black metal because I've never tried it, but I would love to. Definitely.
Yeah, it's again, it's one of those genre. It's a subgenre metal that a lot of people love and a lot of people hate. So yeah, lots of tremolo picking. Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah.
So I'd love to try one day. Like black metal would be my next objective right now.
Yeah, give it a go. You'll definitely get a forearm workout.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like it would be a half jump for my right hand, and then I'll switch back. So, yep, that would be great. And accompanying with the next question, I'll love to ask you that what would be that one technique of whilst playing guitar, that one technique that you have struggled in your early days, and even till now you struggle a little bit right now as well?
I would say the biggest thing, and I didn't really realize until I started recording, is it's not really a technique, but it's timing. It's playing dead on the beat. So, and I think this is a thing that a lot of metal players or a lot of metal or hard rock players struggle with, that we're always ahead of the beat, just a fraction ahead of the beat. Whereas I think a lot of blues players are often slightly behind the beat because it's more of a relaxed style, and it's so weird. So I started recording different styles of music, and when I was listening back to it, I was like, "That's ahead of the beat," and I could hear it. But the other thing I could do is because I was recording it in a DAW, I could see it, and I was like, "I'm like a semi quaver ahead of the beat all the time," and I couldn't understand it. I thought there was something wrong with my software. So I was like, "Nah, that's not right. I can't have been playing the guitar for nearly 30 years and always been ahead of the beat." So, but then I realized that I was.
Yeah.
So I spent about the last year just really concentrating on pulling back from the beat and trying to actually hear exactly where that beat is and hitting the beat. And it's been such a weird kind of realization that I haven't been playing in time for 30 years. But no one's ever noticed it because it's fractional, and I think you only notice it when you record. I think if you're playing live, you don't really pick up on it because it's such a minute amount of time.
True.
When you're recording it and trying to get it dead on. So yeah, I would say it's not a guitar technique. It's more of I don't know if it's a listening thing or a feel thing, but yeah, that's the thing that I've realised I struggled with, but I didn't realise that I was struggling with before. What about you?
Yeah, so for me, it would be I'll say sweep picking.
Yeah,
I can't name one, but I'll say majorly it was sweep picking because I was got influenced by many guitar players who are just shredding constantly. They were using sweep picking up and down, and I was like, okay, this is something which is very interesting. So I tried, and I still struggle till date to just accompany that technique in my own soloing in general, because I try to just use basic minor or major solos. I just avoid the major 7 and the minor 7 because sometimes they are quite uncomfortable for me to just do that stretch and just constantly up and down. So it would be a little difficult technique for me. Also, I'll say initially I have a problem doing the bending vibrato.
Right.
Yeah, so because I thought, I can do bending. I can just make the note go up on the pitch. But after that, I have to wiggle it. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is something which is very difficult, I thought. So
Yeah.
initially, I was very, struggling a lot to make it happen on guitar. But now I'll say I'm quite comfortable because I've started practicing bending in general. So I
Hmm.
think that if you practice enough, if you practice the bending like enough, so eventually you'll get the bending vibrato as well. Because once your finger gets that strength of holding the notes, then initially you'll start building that strength for the vibrato as well. So I believe that.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be my take on this. Okay.
Cool.
Yep. So let's jump into the next question. That and these questions would be like a short kind of question where you can just give it in one take. So the next question
Okay.
would be, what would be your all time favorite guitar that you have right now?
My all-time favorite guitar is this one here. This blue
Yeah.
PRS. It's a Whale Blue Custom 22. I think that's my favorite guitar that I've ever owned. I've had
Okay.
it for probably about 5 years, 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably the longest I've ever kept a guitar because I always buy, swap, sell, part exchange, get something else. But that one will never leave my house until I'm dead,
Yep.
and I might even get buried with it. I don't know. Yeah, what's your favorite? Your PRS?
Yeah, because I only have limited guitars, so I'll say yeah, one only. This is my PRS SE Custom 24. I purchased
Yeah,
it in like 2017, I guess, and since then I got introduced to the world of PRS, and
yeah,
I just absolutely love these guitars. No matter what happens, these guitars stay in tune. They never get
yeah,
out of tune, and also they have a super stable neck that can help me to just bend the notes, like help me phrase in general, and
yeah.
do whatever I wanted to do in like independently. So yeah, so I'll say this one. This one would be my like all time favorite guitar.
Yeah, I'm with
Yeah,
you on that.
yeah. So yeah, PRS rocks.
Yeah, they do. Can't
Yeah,
argue with that.
yeah. Yeah. So the next question would be, what would be your favorite amp?
Um, I don't really have a favorite amp. I've gone through a lot of amps over the years. I think probably the one that I enjoyed playing the most was the orange Rockaverb 50 head, but it weighed about 50 tons, and lugging that thing around with the 2x12 cab was not good for me. So now I have got the PRS MT15,
Oh,
which
I
is
love that. Yeah.
it's an amazing amp.
Yeah.
So that's probably because most of the time now I use little quilter heads. I don't know if you know the quilter stuff.
Not really, but I would love to know about it.
Yeah, so basically it's a little solid state head. It weighs about 1 kilogram. It's 200 watts.
Like a
So
lunchbox style?
now probably about a third of the size of a
Okay.
lunchbox
Yep.
style. And I've got one over there, but I won't get it out because
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to unplug everything. Right?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but but they're brilliant. So what I mainly use now for most stuff that I do live or rehearsal is I go from my guitar into a Line 6 HX Stomp and then straight into the quilter. So I'll use an amp modeler and use the quilter as a backline really. But in terms of my favourite amp at the moment, it is the PRS MT15, and it's bloody loud for a 15 watt amp. It'll blow
Yeah.
the house down.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
know.
tried
I
one?
know.
Have you? Have you got one?
Actually, no. Actually, I'm not having an amp right now because I like for live I just use my this Line 6 Helix I have, so I use that.
Yeah,
But earlier when it got released, I saw the PRS videos and also Mark Tremonti, demoing it. I have seen
yeah,
that. So that time he was just constantly doing heavy riffs on that, and I was like, dude, that is sounding exactly like the album version, even without the double tracking, even without any recording. Like it's just straight away through the air. Just people were recording
yeah,
through the like their cell phone, but still that output was so damn loud. I was like, it's just a 15-watt amp, and it's sounding so damn
yeah,
loud and so heavy with all that purr that we get while we are just chugging the notes. So I was
yeah,
like, I'm completely just shocked, and I on that day only I just started like fanboying that particular amp, and as you stated that it's your favorite amp, that then we are just so yeah, we are in the line. We are in the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a killer amp.
Yeah, it's a killer amp, undoubtedly. Yeah. So the next question would be your favorite pedal, I'll say.
If I had to choose a single pedal, then I would choose the Strymon Riverside.
Oh.
If I could choose a multi-effects pedal, then it would be the HX Stomp, just because it's about this big and it does everything.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but from a single pedal, I'd say the Strymon Riverside, because it sounds more amp-like than any other distortion that I've used. And and it's versatile, it's 2 channels. So yeah, I'd say that's my favorite pedal. What's yours?
I'll say I'm quite a traditional guy who just loves the tube screamer.
Yeah.
And the basic Strymon pedal, but I love the digital delay as well by Boss. I love that. So these are some traditional ones that I've loved, because I've not tried many pedals. I straight away got into just digital plugins by just plugging and playing the neural DSPs. I just love that. I just love them. So I use them for most of my playing, and for live I just use my Line 6 Helix. So I don't have the much opportunity to get exposed towards the pedal world, but I'll still say that I love the Tube Screamer. And I guess one pedal is also there which has a name called OCD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The full tone.
I love that pedal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Full tone.
It's a good pedal.
Yeah, I have seen that pedal in a video which was posted by Marty Schwartz, I guess, earlier in 2016, I guess, and he was demoing the different pedals that he used for his studio rig as well and for the live rig as well.
Yeah.
So he was showing that, and when he used that pedal, I was shocked that, dude, it's sounding killer right now. So these were my favorite pedals that I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
yeah, it's a good pedal, that one.
Yeah, I love that. So accompanying with the next question, that what would be your favorite string? I'll say string gauge that you always use, and what's your comfortable gauge that you use in general for all the guitars?
Well, most of the time I use a 9.5. So I think it's the Dario 9.5s. I used to use the Slinky 10s.
Ernie Ball, yeah.
But my hands are getting old, so I haven't got the strength anymore because all my bones are getting brittle and stuff like that. So I'm on the 9.5s. This guitar here, that's tuned to drop A, so that's got Ernie Ball Slinky 60s on it. So that's pretty low tuned and pretty thick. But for most of my guitars, I'll use 9.5s. Because I don't know, because 9s always feel a bit light, and 10s, my old fingers, So I go with the 9.5s normally.
Yeah. I
What do you use on yours?
Yeah, I'll be a 9 guy. I am not. I've tried 10s, but it doesn't work for me because again, I am young, but I'm old as well. So I'll say that 9 works for me always, because I am a player who believes much in bending while soloing in general, or maybe some improvisation or something like that. I use a lot of bends. So if I'm using 10s, so this finger it gets
don't like it
totally. This finger doesn't like it, and it gets like I'm about to just break this finger. So that's why I always use 9. And the brand would be, I always love D'Addario. I've tried Ernie Ball as well, but not exactly my kind of taste whenever I am trying to use them. But I love the D'Addarios for that.
Yeah.
So
we use the same strings. That's what I use the D'Addarios.
Yeah. I love them.
I just use a half a gauge.
Yeah, just half a gauge, but I know that I'll still say that you're pretty jacked right now to use 9.5. Even 0.5 makes a difference. So I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should also start posting workout videos as well.
Yeah.
Even you have posted, if I remember, that you told in some lesson, I guess you told about the forearm strength. So you have given an explanation. Yeah, about just tearing a paper and just doing like this and then just opening it up again. I've seen that video.
Yeah. Did you try it?
Yeah, I tried that, and of course, I
Yeah.
then switched back to nines.
I thought you'd be on 11s after that video.
Yeah, I thought it would have been worked, but I thought that now my forearms are completely gone. I have to switch back to nines, or maybe even eights, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, so I tried
Pre-exhaustion.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. So the next question would be, right now, how many guitars you own, and would you like to just name them like accordingly?
I think I've got about 8 at the moment.
Okay.
So I've got a couple of PRS, a couple of S2s, one SE, a Strat, a Telecaster, and my Schecter,
Mm-hmm.
and an acoustic, and a bass. So technically 10.
Okay. But for the
But
guitars,
yeah.
I guess majorly they are PRSs. Like PRS.
Most of them are PRS. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like a Strat and a Tele as well, because sometimes you need that single coil sound. And
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
yeah, and I always find that just having a coil split or a coil tap, it never sounds the same.
Mm-hmm.
So you can,
Yeah.
to me, you can never get a humbucker guitar to sound like a Strat or a Tele. So you need that.
Do you
sound,
also
you need
believe
a Strat or a
that?
Tele.
Yeah. Do you also believe that the split coil doesn't works that much great when we are playing a single coilish kind of sound? Because personally, I think that the single coil sound, which is the stock single coil in a Stratocaster or maybe something, or
Yeah.
compared to the split coil sound with a humbucker, they are like totally two different worlds. But I personally prefer the single coil sound which is in the Strat. It doesn't works for me personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I always think that because I've done hundreds of gigs over the years, because I've played in different sort of bands like function bands and stuff like that. So if you go from a humbucker guitar with a split coil to a Strat, it's chalk and cheese. It's a completely different sound.
Totally.
I like them both, but I think sometimes if you want that proper Strat sound or Tele sound, you have to. I mean, it hasn't got to be a Strat or a Tele. It just has to be a single coil, a proper single coil, because they are totally different sounds. But yeah, most of the time I'll play a PRS because
Yeah.
they just like you say, they stay in tune, they sound great, they play great, they feel right. Whereas with Strats, if you pick up 10 Strats, they all feel completely different.
True.
Whereas if you pick up 10 custom 22s with the same neck, whether that's an SE or an S2 or an American Core series, they all just feel the same, and you know that you're going to get consistency, which is one of the things I like about them.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the other guitar brand that I really like is Schecter. I think their guitars are brilliantly made, and again consistent. So I really like those as well. But it takes a while to find a Strat or a Tele that you really like. You can play 20 of them and still not find one. Then the next one is like, this is the one. Whereas you don't get that with some of the other brands.
I agree. I agree.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, so I was just saying that I guess figuring out which Tele or maybe which Strat you have to choose, it feels like a unique fingerprint, because everything has its own dimensions, its own sound, and even the pickups, they are arranged like the same manner. Everything is just same. The wood is also, I'll say, kind of same, but still, whenever we play it, we feel that this is feeling like some or the other way different. So I believe that especially in the Strat world or in the Tele world, every guitar is totally different. Maybe in the heavier side, when we go where we have the humbuckers, where the category comes to maybe a double cut or maybe a single cut, so or maybe a Les Paul shape in general, I think that it is there, but it is less, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is my take on it.
Absolutely.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next question would be, how many amps you own right now?
I think I've got 5 amps. So I've got 2 quilters that I use for live. I've got my MT15. I've got an old orange Jim Root Terror.
Oh.
And I've got a little Black Star amped 1, which is like a little pedal amp, but it's 100 watts and it sounds great.
Yeah.
It's good for just chucking it in the corner of your room and using it to practice. I use that as my practice amp.
Yeah, I
but
understand.
I haven't gigged it. Yeah, but the orange, I haven't used that for years. I need to sell it really because it's just sat in the corner, not doing anything.
Oh, okay. So I
Yeah.
guess 5
And
amps.
what 5? Yeah.
Yeah.
You say you don't use an amp at the moment. You use
No, I just use the
Helix.
neural DSPs, and I just use my Line 6 Helix for my live stuff because I think that
Yeah,
I believe that it doesn't take space because it's a software, of course. But apart from that,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So my next question would be how you started your YouTube journey, and when you started, and how this idea popped in your brain, how it was overall.
Um, I think it was an accident really. So
Okay.
YouTube, I think it was around 2008, 2009 that I started it. That's from memory. I could be wrong. Um, I wasn't really using YouTube, but I'd been on it a few times, and then I saw some people doing guitar stuff on there. So, oh, I could do some guitar stuff. So I had a really crappy digital camera, and I think I just filmed myself making a sound of a bell or something like that by crossing the strings over and uploaded it.
Yeah.
And then I hadn't thought about doing anything else on it. But then what happened was I decided that I was going to make some guitar tutorial DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a camcorder and I made a set of like beginners DVDs for guitar. And I thought I'd sell them on eBay. So I stuck them on eBay, didn't sell a single copy. And then
Okay.
somebody messaged me and said, "Why would I buy your DVD when I can just go on YouTube?" And I was like, "Well, is YouTube like a big thing then?" So I had a look at YouTube. I was like, "Oh, there's loads of guitar stuff on here." So I binned off the idea of selling DVDs and just uploaded all of my stuff onto YouTube. So at that point, I didn't know what a subscriber was. I didn't know about analytics or anything. I just thought, oh, I'll just stick it on YouTube because nobody's going to buy this. I'll stick it on YouTube. So I stuck it on YouTube, and then I started getting a load of notifications on my phone. So and so has subscribed. You got a new subscriber. You got a new subscriber. And I was like, what's a subscriber? I don't even know what that is. So
Mm-hmm.
I looked into it and I realized that, oh, people can follow my channel. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I literally knew nothing about it. And some people would say that I still don't know anything about it. But I thought, okay, well, I'll do some more lessons then. People seem to like it. So I just started doing more lessons. And then it just seemed to get popular, but not from any conscious effort to build a YouTube channel. I just thought, well, I've got these DVDs. No one's buying them. I'll stick them on YouTube, and that's basically
Yeah.
how it started. And then my channel kind of evolved over the years. So I was doing when I first started, I was doing all sorts of music and all sorts of techniques. But then I think I uploaded a couple of black metal tutorials,
Mm-hmm.
and they seemed to go down really well. And people, because I never really looked at YouTube as a thing. I just uploaded whatever came into my head. So my channel wasn't really directed towards anything. But then as I started doing more black metal stuff, I realized that there was a bit of a niche. So I kind of just carried on with that really. And so now my channel is mainly metal, death metal, black metal, stuff like that. But it never used to be. But it just evolved over the years.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, got
that
it.
was it really. It was by accident. I didn't even think about it.
Hmm. Sometimes these beautiful accidents happen, and we just enjoy it like hell right now.
That's right. Yeah.
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 And I've also seen that you have been uploading like pedal reviews and amp reviews as well, apart from the obvious guitar tutorials that you were stating right now.
That's right, yeah. So I haven't done that for a while, but I used to. I used to do a lot of reviews. So pedal reviews, amps, guitars. Or I wouldn't even say reviews, more demos, really. I wasn't really reviewing it. I was just showing what it does and without commenting on whether I thought it was good or bad or I liked it or didn't like it. It was just, this is what it does. Um, so yeah, I used to do a lot. I used to do a lot of that. I don't do as much of that anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, probably because I don't buy stuff anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I
I used to
understand.
be I used to be a bit obsessed with gear, so buying new pedals and amps and
Yeah, I feel you.
just yeah. Whereas I've kind of I don't really do that anymore. I wouldn't say I'm over it because I always like trying new stuff, but I think I realised that you're there's no pedal or amp that's gonna change your world. You just need to practice more.
Yeah, I understand totally.
Yeah.
Because I've seen many guitar players who are just, even I'll say about myself that I thought that initially I'll be practicing, I'll say mediocre, I'll a little less, and I'll be purchasing more and more, and that would be like an eventual upgrade for my playing. But that was a totally like a misconception for my playing, because if you can't practice enough, then what amp would be helpful for your playing? It could be just the same
Yeah.
output again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, yeah. So, the next question for you would be, uh, what, like till now, what is the best memory of you with your, like, in your guitar journey, in your guitar career till now that you remember, and you always cherish that memory, you always enjoy that memory whenever you get, when you recall that memory in your, conscience.
Well, that's a good question. I don't think I've got one specific memory. Actually, that's probably not true. I'd say probably the first tour that I did. So in my old metal band Snub, the first tour that I did was probably my best memory, because I met some really good mates that I'm still mates with now in the other bands that we were touring with. I still see every person that I was touring with back in the day. So I'd say most of my memories that I've got from playing music or playing the guitar is less to do with the music, but more to do with the people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got so many mates now that I wouldn't have if it wasn't for music.
Yeah.
What what's yours?
Mine would be, I'll say, it's something which is related to, I guess, Instagram. So yeah, it's partly in my, like, I'll say, of course it's a part of music, but it's on a virtual basis. So I'll say, when Mark Tremonti commented on my video, I'll say.
Yeah.
And when Jenna Fisher from The Office, it's a TV series, when she commented on, she reposted my video as her story on her Instagram. So that would be my virtual memory, that I'll say that
Oh,
it
that's
would be the
cool.
best memory of mine. And
Yeah.
apart from that, if I tell you about my live scene, so I'll say performing here in fests that I have been doing. But the first encounter of myself, getting onto a stage where, like, I'll say, 6,000, 7,000 people are watching me, 10,000 people are watching me. So it's like, here it was a huge crowd back then. So when I initially stepped onto the stage and I saw so many people, I was like, okay, people are listening to me, and they are just watching me playing live as a guitar player in front of them. So it was quite, I'll say, heartfelt for me. And
Yeah.
that would be the one of my best memories of all time.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you're a fan of The Office?
Yep.
Which one? The American one? The UK one?
I'll say the American one, actually.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
do. I mean, I love both. I still think the UK one is the pinnacle, but the
Mm-hmm.
American one is brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
I
great
understand.
it's a great show. Yeah,
Yeah, totally. Actually, my
yeah,
friend introduced me to The Office, I guess 2 years ago. So
right.
he said, "Ki, dude, you have to watch it. It's so funny, and it has some wicked sense of humor, and everything is
Yeah,
great about." I love Steve Carell as a person as well,
yeah,
and also the acting that he did.
mm,
Everything was so great in that. Like, every episode, I enjoyed it
yeah.
totally.
Have you watched the UK one?
Not right now, but I would love to. I'll say.
Oh, you need to watch it. It's the original and the best.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to watch it definitely. I should,
yeah.
put it on my wish list actually.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, but the American one is just as good. I think. Well, maybe not
Totally.
just as good. It's close, but
Yeah, it's close.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I'll watch it definitely.
yeah. You would love it.
Yeah. So after that, I would ask you one more question. That would be,
Hmm.
I want to have a take of yours on this question. That what is the hardest and the easiest thing about guitar?
The hardest and the easiest. Oh, that's a good question. I think the hardest. For me, the hardest is playing in front of people the way I can play when I'm not in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm at home, just by myself, I can play things that if you put me in front of a crowd, I wouldn't be able to play it.
Totally, I understand.
Yeah. Which is very frustrating and annoying, and I don't know why that happens, but it does. The easiest thing about playing the guitar is buying them. Because you haven't got, you just have to go to the shop and just buy it, and then you take it home. No, that's not a good answer. What's the easiest thing about playing it? It's probably got to be open chords. E minor. E minor is the easiest thing. But the hardest thing for me is playing in front of people the way I can play when I'm not in front of people. I still get that.
Mm-hmm.
That
I understand.
There's a blockage in my brain somewhere, and I don't know where it comes from. But I would like to remove it and then be able to play in front of people. What would you say is your answer?
So for me, the hardest part of playing guitar is actually upgrading yourself consistently. So to elaborate it, I'll say I am at, let's assume I am at this level. Okay. I have crossed these levels step by step throughout the years. I am at this level right now. But right now, I have the acknowledgement that I have crossed this level. And I have to play guitar again in order to upgrade myself. I have to practice again in order to upgrade myself. But what you will do is, you will be procrastinating either, or you will be saying that ki, oh, I have achieved this, so I am a good guitar player, so why should I practice? Whenever I feel the mood, whenever I feel that urge of playing guitar, whenever I feel that sense of I'll say motivation, then I'll do it. So earlier in your days, you are not bothered about motivation. You were just consistently, thinking that I'll just play guitar. I love it. I'll do it. Nothing in between. Everything was totally crystal clear for you. But when you step into some upgraded zone of yours, where you have got some skills, you got some knowledge about theory, maybe techniques, maybe phrasing in general, whatever. So that sense of procrastination develops. So the hardest part would be picking up the guitar again when you are at some sort of skill level. You have upgraded, but you have to again increase that drive that it was there initially in your early days, and still you have to feel like a kid again, consistently practice and achieve another upgraded level of yours that you were not there at the first place.
Interesting, because I've never struggled with that. There's never been a minute when I didn't want to be playing the guitar. I've never, and practicing to me was never a chore. I've never got bored with practicing. I love it. If you said to me now, just play scales for 2 hours, I'd be like, yes. or if you said, right, play all the major, minor seventh, dominant seventh, diminished seventh chords in 3 positions now for 2 hours, I'd be like, yes. I love it. I just want to play it all the time. I don't ever get bored.
That's the best thing I love about you, that you have that spirit, like a childlike spirit in front, in you, that whenever you want to pick up the guitar, you just want to just do it with all your passion, and you never get tired of playing guitar. Maybe just like techniques in general, not just songs, but techniques in general. You love it.
Yeah, I never get bored. Just practicing scales or arpeggios or chords, I'm never bored. I don't know why. It just something in my brain goes, excitement time. It's time to play the guitar.
Yeah, I understand. That's the best part.
Whatever it is I'm playing.
Yeah. Totally. So the easiest part would be for me. It is I'll say ear training and linking that ear training to the guitar.
Right.
Because it's totally I'll say comparatively easy for me, because I'm not saying that I have a perfect pitch, but I have a relative pitch that I could figure out notes, that could be a reference point of me, that okay, if I'm humming like so I'll know that this would be that note. So
Yeah.
it's kind of relative in
Yeah.
my brain. So I'll say that I am a relative pitch. So I have a little upper hand figuring out the songs by taking out the chords, or maybe in general the tabs of it,
Yeah.
or some solo tabs, anything. So I think that that's the easy part for me in guitar, or maybe music in general, I'll say.
Yeah.
So this is
It's
my
good to
take.
have a good ear.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I guess you have uploaded some ear training videos as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I need to go and look at those again and probably take them off. I don't think they were very good.
Yeah, I
That was a long
understand.
time ago. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'll just try different things. That how will this go down? Let's upload it, and then I forget about it. That's the other thing that I do. I don't ever look at my old content. But I'm the same with my music. Like if I wrote an album 3 years ago, I won't have listened to it or played it once since. I don't know what it is in my head. I just do stuff and then I move on. So I'll record a video, upload it, and then 3 years later, somebody might go, "Can you teach me how to play this song?" I'm like, "Yeah, no worries," but I don't even remember that I've done it because once I've done it, it's gone.
Yeah, I understand. Sometimes it happens like that. We have uploaded a lesson, and then after 3 years, maybe
Yeah.
sometimes even we forget, or just we are just watching our lesson again to just figure out. Okay, this I have played. It's A minor. Okay,
Yeah.
it's dominant seven.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of thing.
Or sometimes I'll go back and I'll watch a lesson and I'm like, "Oh my god, that was completely wrong," and I'll just delete it.
Yeah, I understand, because sometimes we figure it out maybe a little bit less accurate than the original one. So
That's
we
right.
feel like, okay, I have to upload it again either, or maybe we have to delete it. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So, accompanying with the next question, I would love to know about your band right now, and I would like to just know everything about it.
Okay. So I'm in different bands at the moment. So I'm in a black metal band called Aldor Freya, which is myself, Quella, and a drummer. I'm in a band called Sunk, which is a local band. Which so the guys that I went on tour with on my first ever tour, we've kind of started doing some music again. It's not all of the same members, but it's most of the same members. So we've started doing some heavy stuff again. And then I'm in a black metal band called Winter's Morning, which is mainly me. And I have used two different drummers to record the albums, but I do all the guitars, the vocals, the bass, and stuff like that.
Oh, great.
So yeah. So yeah, one band is a local sort of 5-piece band. One is a 3-piece black metal band, and one is a 1-piece black metal band.
Okay. A solo
And what
project.
about you? What? Yeah, it's kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
sort of. But the thing is, I mean, that band, it actually started back, I think it was in 1993. And I recorded some stuff back in the day, which obviously never got released because I was recording it on a tape,
Okay.
on a 4-track in a shed. So, I mean, some people would say that's true black metal, but it never got released. And I just kind of kept that name because I liked the name and it had a bit of history for me. So, yeah, that's that one. So, what are you doing now?
Yeah, so right now I'm just by myself. I actually participated as a freelancer artist in my local, like in my city, in a local way, that I have been performing in wedding gigs majorly. But I was also uh, trying to increase my reach generally on Instagram, maybe, or on YouTube, by uploading multiple videos. So I till now I was not majorly fortunate enough to have a metal band, because in my city there is a much scarcity of people who love metal, of course. So I have to maybe
Yeah.
switch my city or something, or maybe I have to find some new people in order to just collaborate, and further I have to step into some further projects as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some good opportunities where I could introduce my skills as a metal player, as a guitar player. So right now I have been participating in the gigs which are totally either Bollywood kind of gig, uh, or
Right.
or I'll say that commercial kind of gig where you're just playing commercial songs in front of people. And I'll not say that I hate it, but I'll say it's not my forte. I'll not say it's the best thing that I enjoy. But anyhow,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward for the opportunities. I don't have a much history of bands, but looking forward to.
Cool.
Yeah. So, stepping into the next question, it's an interesting one, I'll say. So, this question would be, if you would get, by any chance, you get an opportunity to give that one advice to a 20-year-old Simon about music, what it would
Yeah.
be?
Um, I think it would be your timing sucks. Sort it out. So, I think the biggest thing that changed my playing is recording myself and listening and looking at it back. So I'd say start recording as soon as you can, and analyze your recordings, because you'll see where you're on and where you're off, and where you're not sounding as good as you could be. So I'd say that would be the advice that I'd give myself. Obviously, when I was 20, it was a bit different because you didn't have the recording sort of software and technology that you've got these days. So it was a bit harder to do that. But I think as soon as you can, get a computer, get an interface, and start recording, because you'll see where your strengths and your weaknesses are with your playing.
Beautiful answer. Yeah, I
Thanks.
loved it. Yeah.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Okay, I was not expecting that, but let's see. I'll say I'll just say one thing, that is, your procrastination is the only reason why the present success that you have sucks for you. And to elaborate that, it would be, uh, consistency is the key for anything. I believe that. So I'll say, be more consistent. And if you want to just pursue your career as a musician, and you don't want to stick to a traditional or a cliche pattern of earning money, so choose one thing in music, maybe YouTube channel, maybe live gigs, maybe I'll say being a teacher or something. Anything you could choose. Just stick to it. Don't just scatter yourself in everything and just looking for various things, and you'll end up nowhere. So I'll say stick to one thing, and initially when you'll be stepping in, it would be difficult. It would be somehow competitive for you, that okay, in my surrounding people are playing jazz licks, people are playing that kind of progression that I'm not able to play right now. I'm not able to solo in such and such way. I don't have the right techniques that I have to be having right now. It's okay. Don't compare yourself, and just do it for your own spirituality, that you feel what is music for you. So I'll say exploring yourself would help a lot, and it would act as a byproduct for pursuing music as a career, or maybe music in general. So I'll advise that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yep. Thank you. So the last question from my side would be, and it's a really precious one for all of us. It's very important for us, that what would be some advices that you want to give to young guitar players who are actually approaching approaching guitar to, like, for learning, for maybe for a career, or maybe starting a YouTube channel for lessons, and maybe for covers or anything. So I'll say, what would be some major advices that you want to give to young guitar players for these things?
It's a good question. I would say try and get as many different influences as you can, because just siloing yourself into one specific thing won't help you to improve as I mean, it depends what you want. If you want to be a musician, or you just want to play some songs, to me there's a difference. I think if you want to be a musician, you need to have a broad range of influences. If you just want to play a few songs, then carry on doing what you're doing. I think learn to read music is learn to read music, learn harmony, learn music theory. I think so many guitar players don't bother with that because they think they don't need it, and you technically you don't need it, but learning it will give you a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? Options in terms of if you want to quickly come up with a harmony, rather than taking you 10 minutes, you can do it in 30 seconds. You can go, okay, go to the third, go to the fourth, go to the sixth, blah, 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 right? So I'd say learn, because guitar players are one of the only musicians, or in my experience, that don't know music. And to me, it's like, if you're a musician, you need to learn music.
True.
So you don't find many pianists that can't read music, or you don't find any trombone players that can't read music.
True.
But you find millions of guitar players that can't read music. So don't be lazy. Go and learn how to do it, because you're a musician. Obviously, I'm not speaking to people that do that. I'm speaking to people that don't want to do that, or think they don't need to. And arguably, you can say you don't need to, because a lot of great musicians or great guitar players didn't. But I've always found it odd that guitar players don't learn music. So I'd say that's one piece of advice: get as many influences as you can. Listen to loads of different sorts of music, from classical to wherever your limit is on the metal scale. Some people's limit is here, some people's limit is up here. So, but everything, jazz, funk, indie, pop, listen to all of it, because it will all give you something new to add to whatever you're doing, to your style. The other thing I'd say is never stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably what's helped me the most, is because I'm a very curious person. I want to know everything about everything. So in terms of music, if I hear somebody doing something on the guitar and I'm like, what have they just done? I've never heard somebody do that before. Which I got a lot with Guthrie Govan and Jeff Beck. You'll hear them play something, and you're like, what have they just done? Because I've never heard that. So I'd say never stop learning. If you find somebody that's written a book on some new technique, try and get the book, or read it, or borrow it, or go to a library. But yeah, I'd say those are the things. Get as many influences as you can, learn how to read music and learn music theory, and never stop learning. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's like, it would be the best advice that anyone could get. And I totally agree with you that anyhow, if you are stopping yourself, or maybe limiting yourself with one genre, maybe stopping yourself to learn, or maybe you're just procrastinating. I'm a big fan of procrastination. I have to stop it. But I'll
Stop
say that,
procrastinating.
yeah, I agree. So that would be something.
Why do you think you do it?
Yeah.
Why do you think you do it?
So I think that I'll say you don't feel that drive that much that you have been, feeling earlier in your days, because of multiple reasons. Because sometimes you are just stuck in a rut in general. Sometimes you are just not feeling the environment that you have right now in your own surroundings, that maybe I have to just deal with the same bunch of musicians who are playing the same genres for years. So it's like a rut. It's like something which is redundant in front of you, back and forth again and again, again and again. So that's why you have to be extra dedicated towards exploring new genres, maybe new possibilities. I think here in my city, I believe that if I have to just switch my environment, I have to switch my city as well. So because it's comparatively, it's a very small city where I'm living right now. So I have to switch cities in order to just get different influences, where people are playing maybe jazz, funk, rock, metal, black metal, gent, anything. So I have to be conscious about that, because it's anyhow at the end of the day it's my environment. If I'm dealing with the same bunch of musicians who are playing same things, I'm not saying that they are doing anything wrong, but it's just that it's limiting my influences, it's limiting my possibilities that
Yeah.
I could have been doing, like I could have been doing in guitar in general. So this is the reason that I think that procrastination accompanies with these things. So this is the reason.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
Good
And
answer.
it was, yeah. And likewise, your answer, I love it, and I'll definitely follow it. Apart from your YouTube channel, I'll follow that. Definitely.
Cool. Obviously, we've known each other for a long time, but we've never really spoken. So
Yeah.
it's been good.
Yeah, totally. And for the people who are watching this, I want to tell you that Simon has also participated in our guitar collab that I asked you back in 2018, I guess. You have,
God, is that how long ago it was? 5
yeah,
years
5
ago.
or 6 years ago, I guess. So
That's mad.
yeah, totally. And you have done a brilliant solo, I guess. And the best of all the solos that we have played, apart from that, it was totally insane for me. And people here were asking a lot that, dude, that like Simon has nailed that solo. I loved that solo. Everything related to the note choices and what techniques you have accompanied in that solo, people loved it. And we would love to like collaborate with you again in some other collabs in other projects as well apart from this.
Yeah, no problem. I mean,
Definitely,
thanks
Simon.
for your kind words.
Yeah, and thanks for giving us your precious time, Simon. It really means a world to us, and sharing your journey, sharing your experiences, sharing everything with us. And also, people, please do subscribe to Simon's channel. Link is in the description. I'll be also mentioning the Instagram channel of Simon as well. Please do show your love to him and subscribe to his channel, support his content. And he posts lovely lessons of every other genre, specifically with black metal and other metal genres. Please do hit the subscribe button, support Simon, and that would be it.
Great.
Yep.
Take care then. See you later.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time again,
Yeah.
Simon. Take care.
No problem.
Yep. Bye bye.
Bye bye.